Welcome into Steelers Latest, your daily spot for all news and information related to your Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm your host, Cole Denis. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you're new to see to me with notifications. We're only 2 days away from the Steelers' first game, this final episode before the first game. So let's make some predictions. Let's start with some bold predictions here. The first one being the Steelers offense will finally score 24 plus points in the season opener for the first time since 2020. I think Hunter's Router pass game, the sharpest it's looked in week one since Ben was around here in Pittsburgh. That should open up some of the run lanes. We shouldn't see the stacked box all game this Sunday against the Jets. Plus, I think the defense is going to open up or not open up, but give this offense some short fields. I think we might force some turnovers here. The offense will be able to operate around the field or just behind half of the field most of the game, I think. I don't think they're going to be able to push the ball on us. So I think our offense will be in an optimal position to finally get up some points to start the season. Second, the Jets won't find the end zone in this one. I think the Steelers' defense has been bend don't break for years and have always started years strong. We saw last year against Falcons, home and 15 points. Just think Justin Fields won't be able really to get anything going against like Tomlin and Stephens today. I think if we can take away the run, really nothing we have to worry about here. Really, it's only towards the BC and the Jets finding the end zone in this game as if Brees Hall can like 50 plus yard touchdown line against us. As a Steelers fan, I would as Steelers fans, we saw Justin Fields in the season opener last year also find the end zone with the Steelers. We didn't win the game. But we know it's not any surprise if Justin Fields isn't able to make it in the end zone. So we're going to see it once again after years. Justin Fields can't find the end zone in week one. Finally, the final bowl prediction. Different receivers, size players, against tight ends, receivers. You'll get a reception in this game. I think for the passing game to really thrive this year, it's going to be distributed all around. And we finally got someone who isn't just going to look at one person, who isn't scared to make all the reads. And he'll be a great distributor of the ball. So, it's large should be one to get everyone involved on this offense. I think we would see many players keep getting involved in this game just to keep the defense guessing. Because defense is their strong suit. So the more rotational pieces, the more we can keep them guessing. More likely, I think, this offense will stand out in this game. Talking about standout, so let's talk about my offensive and defensive player standouts of this game. Wilson and Wilson. Our two Wilsons on each side of the ball, I think, will start the season pretty strong here. Roman Wilson slotted at wide receiver number 3. Get a decent amount of reps here in game one against the Jets. Really his first part in action here in the NFL. Didn't play any last year. I think Rodgers, if he can get Wilson involved in this game early, he's going to be lined up against Michael Carter more than likely. Think you get him rolling early, this can really break out, or he can really stand out in this one, get his season off to a great start, his career off to a great start after just horrible luck last year with the injury and missing the entire season. Michael Carter, second, nothing really too locked down out there. So I think that's a great matchup for someone like Wilson. I think a lot of the teams are going to be going DK's way. At most, probably going to Calvin Austin because I don't think we're going to be. So I think Roman Wilson, if you really game plan correctly as the offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, which we don't think he is game planning correctly, but hopefully he is. Roman Wilson could really eat today. I say he has 5 receptions for at least for 75 plus yards, and maybe he finds the end zone in the first game of the year. Peyton Wilson, though, on the other side of the ball, I think this man's going to be all over the field against the Jets. I think he's going to be making every play against the Jets. I really see him being the linebacker one by the end of the year. Like, he's huge. Just Wilson shown from his pursuit and tackling abilities and the flashes and coverage last year. I have really high hopes for him to really break out in the second season and become maybe a top 10 linebacker in the league. Hopefully, I think it starts someday with 10 plus maybe a top share lost. And I'll be surprised if he's one of the players to force a turnover in this game because he will be the difference maker for the Steelers defense this year. Let's take a look at all the matchups and who has the edge. We'll start with the defensive fronts or the offensive and defensive fronts. Steelers D line versus the Jets offensive line. The Jets offensive line is dealing with some injuries. Steelers D line, all pros, all stars, littered around me. Give me the Steelers defensive line, massive advantage. Okay. Much more explaining has to be done for that. Steelers O line versus Jets D line now. This is where it's a little tougher. They got Quinn Williams in the middle. Everywhere else, though, not really too great. Quinn Williams, though, is the best defensive tackle in the league. But I'm still going to give the slight advantage to the Steelers offensive line here. It's because I think there is a well-rounded talent there. I think Williams will have the edge in the middle, but we'll be able to double him because no one else is really going to take too much attention from this offensive line to be able to shut them down. Now, to the flashy parts of this game, the Steelers wide receivers versus the Jets secondary. Leaning a little Steelers here. EK versus Saul's kind of a wash. Everyone else really tries to also when you look at the receivers. I just think Roman Wilson has the advantage over Michael Carter Jr. And that's really what gives the Steelers the advantage in the receiving room. And tight ends also match up really well against their linebackers. So the receiver versus secondary, I really am going to lean slightly Steelers here. Steelers secondary versus the Jets. Huge advantage to the Steelers, I think. We got really strong cornerbacks with Ramsey, Porter, Slade. Don't have 3 strong receivers. They only got Garrett Wilson, in my opinion. So, Steelers running backs versus the Jets linebackers. That's the matchup. They're running at each other. Advantage. Steelers, in my opinion, you look at the Jets linebacking corps. Tell me if you recognize the name because it is not looking too good this year for the Jets in their linebacker rooms. The Steelers will have a 3 field, so I'm going to give them that way. Steelers linebackers for Jets running backs. I'm going to give the advantage to the Jets here just because Brees Hall and Allen were so good last year. And our linebackers really solid, but never aren't considered great in the league just yet. I think after this year that will change, but right now they aren't. So give the Jets the advantage. And now the QB matchup, Justin Fields versus Rodgers. Who am I leaning to have a better game? Of course, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is going to ball out against the Jets in game 1, where Justin Fields is going to be locked down and not be able to really get anything going offensively for the Jets in this one. So, got advantage Steelers in almost every divisional battle in this game besides one. So, what is my final score prediction for today's game? Steelers will walk out MetLife Stadium with a 1-0 record after a 27-9 victory. Not changing my opinion already from my schedule prediction last week. The Steelers were gonna beat the Jets. We knew all this drama. It was just by how much. After looking over everything this week, looking at rosters, looking at just some film over the past week, don't see the Jets being able to compete with us. As I said, we have the advantage of every major position. We have the advantage from the coaching groups. Also, I think defense will overpower the Jets' weakened offensive line and won't let Hall and Allen get going. They're gonna give Justin Fields hell all day when he's chasing the ball. Offense for us should receive a couple of short fields. We finally, hopefully, have a reliable quarterback for the Steelers to be able to capitalize on these short fields for the first time in years. It felt like every time we forced a turnover, we would have a 3-and-out after a journey for 4 or 5 years now. So hopefully this year is the year that stops happening. I think Rodgers will make it so happening that we'll see it this weekend. The only way the Steelers lose this game is if we shoot ourselves in the foot. Too many penalties. I think we'd have to go like 8+ penalties in this one. Couple turnovers, 3 turnovers probably to lose this game, in my opinion. We're gonna really have to hinder ourselves in this one if we come out on top. But I don't think that's going to be good. Steelers, we're winning this one 27-9. I'm gonna be rolling from here. That has been it from Steelers, ladies. I'm here, Cole Denis. We'll see you.